You don't have to smile at everyone. You don't have to say yes to everything. Being kind doesn't mean being available. Stop confusing being friendly with being a people pleaser. Let's be honest. The world loves friendly people. They make others feel comfortable, wanted, accepted. But here's the truth no one tells you. Being too friendly can cost you your respect, your peace, and your power. When you give too much of yourself, people start taking you for granted. And darling, you're not meant to be an open buffet of energy for everyone to feed on. Stop confusing kindness with weakness. The world often mistakes a soft heart for a weak spirit. But the truth is, kindness is not the absence of strength. It is the mastery of it. Anyone can react with anger. Anyone can shout. Anyone can strike back. But it takes power, real unshakable power, to stay kind in a cruel world. When someone disrespects you and you choose not to lower yourself to their level, that's not weakness. That's control. That's maturity. That's the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. In life, people will test you. You might hold the door open for someone who doesn't even bother to say thank you. You might help a coworker meet a deadline, and later they take all the credit. You might listen to a friend's pain for hours, but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. And in those moments, your heart whispers, maybe I should stop being nice. But don't. Your kindness is not the problem. Your audience is. Not everyone is worthy of your softness, but that doesn't mean you should harden your soul. Priyanka Chopra once said, don't confuse my silence for ignorance, my calmness for acceptance, or my kindness for weakness. Those words carry thunder, because behind every gentle smile, there's a storm of experiences that taught restraint. Behind every person who chooses peace, there's a story that could have ended in anger, but didn't. When someone calls you too nice, take it as a compliment wrapped in misunderstanding. They don't see the courage it takes to forgive. They don't see the power it takes to walk away instead of fight. They don't see the discipline it takes to hold your head high when your heart wants to break. Think about this. A lion doesn't need to roar to prove it's powerful. It simply is. That's what true kindness feels like. You don't need to shout about your goodness. It shows in how you treat people who can do nothing for you. The cashier who looks exhausted at the end of her shift. The taxi driver who waits patiently while you're on a call. The old neighbor who just wants someone to talk to. Kindness is when you choose grace, even when the world gives you none. Let's talk about relationships. In love, people often mistake patience for weakness. You forgive, you try again, you communicate, and the other person says, you're too emotional. But no, you're too human. You love deeply. And that scares people who don't know how to handle depth. The person who can stay kind in conflict, who can speak gently even when they're hurt, that person has more emotional strength than the loudest, angriest one in the room. It's easy to be kind when life is good. But when you're betrayed, lied to, or overlooked, and you still choose not to turn bitter, that's power the world can't measure. At work, you'll see this play out too. The quiet one who helps everyone, stays late, and never complains is often overlooked. But the day that person speaks up, everyone listens. Because consistency builds credibility. And the person who stays kind in chaos becomes the calm mother's grave. Don't let people mistake your decency for lack of ambition. You can be kind as and fierce. You can be humble and unstoppable. You can say, thank you, while still owning every inch of your success. Kindness is not a lack of confidence. It's evidence that you don't need cruelty to win. Even in friendships, your kindness will be tested. You'll be there for people who vanish when you need them. You'll defend people who wouldn't do the same for you. And at some point, you'll feel like your kindness is being wasted. But here's the truth, it's never wasted. It builds your character. It separates you from those who use others as stepping stones. When you choose kindness, you're not weak. You're planting seeds. Some will never say thank you, but the right souls will remember your warmth long after you're gone. Look at the world we live in. Everyone wants to look strong. Arms crossed, walls up, no feelings shown. But true strength is in vulnerability. It's in saying, I care. It's in choosing to stay good when life keeps giving you reasons not to be. When you're kind, people will underestimate you, but one day they'll realize the kindest person in the room was also the strongest one all along. A kind heart doesn't mean a naive mind. You can forgive but not forget. You can help but not enable. You can listen but not absorb everyone's pain. Boundaries don't cancel kindness. They protect it. When someone keeps mistaking your calmness for submission, remember this: a volcano doesn't need to explode every day to remind the world it can destroy mountains. Your silence, your restraint, your grace, that's your roar. Imagine standing in a crowded place. Someone bumps into you and doesn't apologize. Most people would snap back, but you simply smile and move on. You don't do it because you're scared. You do it because your peace is too expensive to spend on strangers. That's what maturity looks like. That's what strength wrapped in kindness feels like. Every time you rise above petty behavior, you're not avoiding the fight. You're proving you've already won it. So when people say, "You're too kind," smile, because they'll never understand how hard it is to stay kind in a world that keeps testing you. They'll never know the strength it takes to love after heartbreak, to trust after betrayal, to give after being taken from. You're not weak for being soft. You're powerful for not letting this world make you cold. Kindness is a choice, one that requires more courage than cruelty ever will. Anyone can be hard. Anyone can be mean. But to stay kind in the middle of chaos, judgment, and rejection, that's not weakness. That's warrior energy disguised as compassion. That's grace under pressure. That's strength in its highest form. Boundaries protect peace, not ego. Too often, people will tell you that setting boundaries means you're selfish, arrogant, or too distant. But that's a lie told by those who benefited when you had none. Boundaries are not walls that shut people out. They are doors that protect your energy, your time, and your emotional space. When you say no to things that drain you, you're not acting from pride, you're acting from self-respect. Because the truth is, without boundaries, even love can turn into exhaustion. Think about it. You keep saying yes to everyone. Yes to work when you're already tired. Yes to friends who only call when they need something. Yes to family members who guilt you into doing things you don't want to. And slowly, you start disappearing. You smile, but it's forced. You give, but it's empty. You show up, but you're running on fumes. That's not kindness. That's survival without peace. Boundaries are the invisible lines that remind you, I matter too. Imagine your life as a beautiful garden. You plant flowers, water them, nurture them. But what happens if you let everyone walk through it without care? People will trample your roses, pull your petals, and leave you with broken stems. That's what life without boundaries feels like. You give everyone access to your peace, and before you know it, you're left empty, trying to regrow in the same soil you allowed others to destroy. Boundaries are your fence, not to keep love out, but to keep chaos from stepping in. Some people won't understand why you suddenly stop being so available. They'll say, "You've changed." But what they really mean is, "You've stopped giving me free access to your time." And that's fine. Growth always looks like distance to the ones who only loved your convenience. When you set boundaries, you stop being an open book for people who only came to read your pain. You learn to guard your peace like a treasure, because it is one. At work, boundaries look like not checking emails after midnight. It's refusing to be guilted into overtime just to prove loyalty. Because if your value is measured by how much you sacrifice, then you're being used, not appreciated. The most successful people, the ones who lead with strength and clarity, aren't the ones who say yes to everything. They're the ones who know when to say no. Priyanka Chopra once said, "You have to be your own best friend." That's what boundaries are. Self-friendship in action. It's saying, I'm proud of how much I give, but I also deserve rest, space, and time to breathe. In relationships, boundaries are even more crucial. Love without boundaries becomes dependency. You can love someone deeply and still say, "This is not okay." You can forgive and still choose distance. You can care and still walk away. The strongest relationships are not built on control or guilt. They're built on respect for each other's limits. If someone gets angry because you need space, that's not love. That's possession disguised as affection. Boundaries don't push love away. They teach love how to stay healthy. In friendships, boundaries protect your energy from being drained by people who only come to take. You might have that one friend who only calls when their life is falling apart, but when you need them, they vanish. The old you would feel guilty for saying no. The new you understands that your peace is sacred. You can listen with compassion, but you are not anyone's emotional dumpster. You can care deeply without carrying other people's chaos home with you. A true friend will understand when you say, I can't handle this right now. Because real connection doesn't depend on constant availability. It depends on mutual respect. Even within families, boundaries are necessary. You might have grown up believing you owe everyone your time, your energy, your silence, especially when it comes to elders or relatives. But you don't. Respect is mutual, not one-sided. Just because someone raised you doesn't give them permission to disrespect you. Setting boundaries with family doesn't mean you love them less. It means you love yourself enough to stop letting old patterns define your peace. Sometimes saying, I can't talk about this, or that's not okay to say to me, is the most loving thing you can do for both sides. Here's the thing, peace isn't found in isolation, it's maintained through boundaries. You can meditate, pray, read books about calmness, but if you keep letting people walk all over your emotions, you'll never find it. Peace doesn't come from silence. It comes from saying what you mean without fear. It comes from walking away from conversations that steal your calm. It comes from recognizing that you don't need to explain your limits to those who genuinely respect you. Picture yourself as a phone. You can't stay on the 1% battery and keep connecting calls. You need to recharge. Every time you set a boundary, you recharge your soul. Every time you say, I'm not available for that today, you take back power that used to leak through guilt. Boundaries are not selfish, they are self-care with structure. And the more you practice them, the more peace you'll feel. There will always be people who call you rude, cold, or ungrateful when you start protecting your peace. But remember, those are the same people who benefited when you had none. You don't owe explanations to anyone for taking care of your sanity. You're not rejecting people, you're rejecting chaos. Boundaries are your way of saying, I've outgrown being drained. When you start valuing your peace over pleasing others, your life begins to shift from noise to harmony. The strongest form of confidence isn't loud. It's quiet, calm, and unwavering. It's in the person who doesn't argue, doesn't over-explain, just withdraws from drama without guilt. That's boundary energy. It's not about ego. Ego says, I'm better than you. Boundaries say, I deserve better than this. Ego separates people. Boundaries save relationships. Ego screams. Boundaries whisper. Ego reacts. Boundaries respond. That's the difference. When you finally realize that boundaries aren't meant to offend, but to protect, you'll stop feeling guilty for having them. You'll see that peace isn't something you find in a perfect world. It's something you build within yourself, one boundary at a time. Friendliness invites disrespect. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth most people learn the hard way. When you're always available, always saying yes, always trying to please everyone, people stop seeing your kindness as generosity and start seeing it as obligation. The line between warmth and weakness gets blurred. And before you know it, the same people you try to make comfortable are the ones who make you feel small. Over-friendliness doesn't build deeper connections. It teaches others that your time, energy, and emotions are free for the taking. It starts subtly. You're the one who always responds first, who adjusts plans, who forgives easily. You think being overly nice keeps peace, but all it does is teach others that your boundaries are flexible. You laugh at jokes that hurt you. You agree to things you don't want to do. You downplay your needs just to avoid conflict. But here's the truth. When you make yourself too accessible, you become invisible. People stop appreciating your presence because it's always guaranteed. Scarcity creates value, and that's not arrogance. That's human psychology. Even love loses its meaning when it's never challenged. Think about it at work. You're always the one who stays late, helps coworkers meet deadlines, or covers shifts without complaining. At first, everyone praises you for being a team player. But soon it becomes expected. You stop hearing, thank you. The day you can't help, suddenly you're not as reliable as before. What changed? Nothing about your effort, just their perception. Your friendliness blurred the line between kindness and servitude. When people get too used to your lies, they forget you have the right to say no. That's why balance matters. Respect doesn't live where there are no boundaries. In friendships, over-friendliness can make you the one who always gives while others just take. You listen to everyone's problems, you show up for every event, you make sure nobody feels left out. But when you're the one who needs help, silence fills the room. You start realizing that your role isn't friend anymore. It's fixer, listener, therapist. People love your warmth until it's no longer convenient for them. Priyanka Chopra once said, if you don't stand for yourself, no one will. And that's exactly it. Over-friendliness might make you liked, but it won't make you respected. And when you chase being liked, you lose your sense of self in the process. In relationships, being too friendly, too forgiving, too accommodating, turns love into imbalance. You overlook red flags because you don't want to seem too harsh. You tolerate disrespect disguised as jokes because you don't want to seem too sensitive. But love without boundaries becomes chaos. When someone knows you'll stay no matter how they treat you, they stop valuing your presence. You can be gentle and still say, that's not okay. You can be caring and still demand respect. The strongest relationships aren't built on endless tolerance. They're built on mutual accountability. Even in family, over-friendliness creates emotional imbalance. Maybe you're always the one who fixes every argument, who sacrifices your comfort for peace. You lend money, time, or emotional support to people who never check on you in return. And when you finally take a step back, they say, you've changed. But you haven't changed. You've just stopped being their cushion. Family love doesn't mean unlimited access to your energy. You can love deeply and still say, I need space. You can care without carrying everyone's weight. When you start drawing those lines, the ones who truly love you will adjust. The rest will call you selfish. And that's how you'll know you made the right choice. Look at social interactions. Sometimes over-friendliness makes you a target for manipulation. You meet someone new and instantly give them all your trust, all your time, all your secrets, thinking it'll make you closer. But some people see that as weakness. They test your limits, take your kindness for granted, and slowly start to disrespect you because you've shown them you'll tolerate it. Confidence doesn't mean being cold. It means knowing that your friendliness has limits. You don't need to win everyone over. Some people are meant to observe your glow, not absorb your energy. There's a saying, don't feed people with a silver spoon and expect them to respect the meal. Friendliness spoils relationships because it removes effort from the other side. When you keep giving without pause, you rob people of the chance to meet you halfway. Respect grows in the space between give and take, not in one person doing all the giving. The friend who never stops giving becomes background noise. The partner who never disagrees becomes predictable. The employee who never complains becomes disposable. Imagine a teacher who gives every student full marks, no matter their effort. Eventually, the grades lose meaning. That's what happens when you're too friendly. You hand out A's to people who didn't earn them. Respect, gratitude, and effort fade away because they no longer have to be earned. Your warmth should be a reward, not a guarantee. People should feel honored by your kindness, not entitled to it. Over-friendliness also silences your true emotions. You bottle things up because you don't want to upset anyone. You laugh when you're hurt. You agree when you disagree. You smile when you're breaking inside. But that's not strength. That's emotional suppression disguised as harmony. The most powerful people aren't the ones who please everyone. They're the ones who can say, this doesn't feel right, and stand firm in that truth. You don't owe anyone endless comfort at the cost of your peace. Sometimes over-friendliness is fear wearing a smile. Fear of rejection, fear of being disliked, fear of being misunderstood. But here's the reality. Not everyone deserves your softness. Not everyone earns your attention. The moment you stop trying to be everyone's favorite, you start becoming your own peacekeeper. You realize that distance doesn't mean coldness. It means clarity. That silence doesn't mean weakness. It means maturity. You're not losing people. You're losing roles that were never yours to play. When you walk into a room with quiet confidence instead of loud friendliness, you change the atmosphere. People pay attention differently because mystery demands respect. You don't need to overshare, overgive, or oversmile to prove your goodness. Let your energy speak before your words do. People remember authenticity, not overexertion. Being kind is beautiful, but being overly friendly can be dangerous because it teaches people to overlook your value. When you're too easy to reach, people stop reaching carefully. You can still be genuine, compassionate, and warm, just not to the point where your presence feels free. Give your smile wisely. Give your time intentionally. Give your heart selectively. Because the right people won't need your over-friendliness to respect you. They'll see your worth in your calm confidence. Silence can be more powerful than presence. In a world where everyone feels the need to speak, to defend, to prove, to be seen, silence becomes the rarest form of strength. People think silence means weakness, that being quiet means surrender, but that's where they're wrong. Silence isn't about fear, it's about control. It's the moment when your spirit says, I don't need to respond to every noise around me because my peace is louder than their chaos. When you choose silence over reaction, you are not ignoring the world, you're mastering yourself. There are times when words only make things worse. You argue, explain, you justify, and still, people twist your meaning. But the moment you go silent, everything shifts. Silence exposes what words can hide. It makes people uncomfortable because they can't manipulate what they can't hear. When you stop explaining yourself, people start wondering what gave you the strength to walk away. They start realizing that your quiet isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Because only those who have nothing to prove can afford to be silent. In an argument, silence speaks volumes. When someone tries to provoke you, your calm is your armor. They expect anger, they expect reaction, they expect a fight. But when you stay silent, you take their power away. It's not submission, it's strategy. Imagine a storm shouting at a mountain. The mountain doesn't respond. It simply stands unmoved. That's what silence feels like when you've mastered self-control. You no longer need to raise your voice to prove your worth. You let your peace do the talking. At work, silence can command more respect than constant talking. The one who listens more and speaks less one ends up being the one people pay attention to. Because silence observes what noise misses. The quiet observer notices dynamics, reads the room, and understands more than the loudest person there. Sometimes, the most powerful person in the meeting isn't the one leading the conversation. It's the one who speaks last, after everyone else has already revealed their thoughts. That's power wrapped in patience. Silence, in the right hands, is authority. In relationships, silence reveals truth more clearly than confrontation ever could. When someone keeps mistreating you, stop repeating the same conversation that never changes anything. Go silent. Watch how quickly they notice your absence. Watch how suddenly they remember your worth when your words stop reaching them. Silence doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it doesn't explain. It simply withdraws. And that withdrawal hits harder than any argument ever could. Because when you go quiet, people finally hear the noise they created. There's a moment in life when silence is not just golden, it's sacred. When you're hurt, your silence is not you giving up. It's you protecting your dignity. Not every battle deserves your voice. Sometimes you win by walking away. Priyanka Chopra once said, you can't control how others see you, but you can control how long you let it affect you. That's the essence of silence. It's not about ignoring others. It's about refusing to let their actions dictate your emotions. You can't clap with one hand, and you can't argue with someone who refuses to speak. Silence breaks cycles that words keep alive. In friendships, silence becomes the filter. When you stop reaching out, stop over-explaining, stop justifying your loyalty, you'll see who truly values you. The real ones will notice you're quiet and come closer. The fake ones will vanish. Because silence doesn't chase attention, it reveals intention. Sometimes the loudest way to say, I'm done, is to say nothing at all. You don't need to slam doors or announce your exit. Your silence will echo in places where your presence was taken for granted. Even in personal growth, silence becomes a tool of transformation. When you stop filling every quiet moment with noise, the TV, the phone, the endless chatter, you start hearing yourself again. You start hearing your inner voice, the one you've ignored for years under the weight of everyone else's opinions. Silence gives birth to clarity. That's why people fear it. Because when the noise stops, truth speaks. The truth about who you are, what you want, and who you no longer need to be around. It's in silence that your soul recalibrates. Look at nature. The most powerful moments happen in silence. The sunrise doesn't make noise, yet it changes the sky. The ocean doesn't shout, yet its waves shape the earth. Trees grow quietly, mountains stand without words, and yet they hold the power to humble anyone who looks at them. That's the kind of strength silence gives you, unspoken influence. You don't need to roar to be remembered. You can impact without interruption. You can move mountains with composure. When people insult you, mock you, underestimate you, silence is your most graceful revenge. Because when you stay silent, you deny them the drama they crave. They expect fire, but you give them stillness. And that stillness burns deeper than anger ever could. It's not your job to correct everyone's version of you. Let them misunderstand. Let them gossip. Your silence is not an admission, it's elevation. You're no longer competing on their level. You're protecting your peace on yours. In moments of loss or heartbreak, silence becomes the language of healing. People around you will talk. They'll offer advice, comfort, or distraction. But healing doesn't come from words, it comes from stillness. From sitting in your pain without running from it. From allowing silence to hold what your voice can't express. Because sometimes, no words are big enough for the storms you've survived. Only silence can carry that kind of weight. Silence also commands mystery, and mystery demands respect. The person who doesn't reveal everything, who keeps their plans, pain and progress private, that person holds an undeniable power. Not because they're hiding, but because they've learned the art of selective expression. When you talk less, people listen more. When you share less, your presence becomes more valuable. Your silence creates space for curiosity, and curiosity leads to respect. There's a strength in silence that noise can never touch. It's not passive, it's intentional. It's the decision to stay calm when you could explode, to walk away when you could argue, to move forward without announcing every step. Silence doesn't beg for attention, it attracts it. Because in a world obsessed with noise, the quiet ones stand out the most. People won't remember what you shouted, but they will remember how you stood, how you smiled, how you walked away without a word. And how your silence spoke volumes they'll never forget. There comes a time when you must realize that silence is not the absence of voice, it's the presence of power. The world will keep trying to pull words out of you, drag reactions from you, make you prove yourself again and again. But when you rise above all that noise and choose calm instead of chaos, control instead of confusion, that's when your power becomes undeniable. Because sometimes silence is not you holding back, it's you standing tall, unshaken, untouchable. You see, there's a reason why the loudest rooms are often filled with the weakest confidence. The ones who truly hold power don't need to raise their voice. Their energy speaks for them. You don't have to shout to make an impact. You don't have to explain yourself to be understood. As Priyanka Chopra once said, don't try to squeeze into a glass slipper when you were born to wear a crown. Thus your silence is that crown. It's the unspoken declaration that you know who you are, and you don't need the world's approval to stay that way. Silence is a mirror. It reflects who truly understands you and who never did. When you stop talking, when you stop begging to be heard, that's when people start to listen. The same voices that ignored your presence will start missing your silence. The same faces that took you for granted will start wondering where your warmth went. That's the beauty of silence. It teaches through absence what presence could never explain. You don't have to say a word for people to feel the weight of your worth. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all, that silence is not weakness. It's wisdom wrapped in patience. It's knowing that your energy is sacred, that not everyone deserves access to your emotions. You can love people deeply and still go quiet when they cross your peace. You can forgive without announcing it, move on without explaining it, heal without posting about it. The power lies not in the noise you make, but in the calm you maintain. When people underestimate you, let your silence surprise them. When they provoke you, let your silence confuse them. When they doubt you, let your silence prepare your comeback. Because your silence isn't empty. It's full of answers, growth, and strength they can't see yet. There's something magnetic about someone who doesn't react, who doesn't chase, who doesn't justify. That kind of calm doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from self-mastery. Remember this? Lions don't roar to prove they're lions. The sun doesn't announce its rise,